So what's going on, people? Welcome back to another video, and I'm John and Tanit. I'm going to do the live press conference reaction with Steve Brewster Storm the Deer. So if you like to subscribe, and please subscribe to my channel, and please smash the likes up and leave the comments down section down below. And yeah, it's been a tough day, and got early finish today, which is fantastic, and it's all great. So I want to get at least 100 people watching live today. That's what I want to get up close to that. So I'm just getting me partner in crime at this moment in time. She was here the other day doing player ratings, and I'm going to get her back now. And it's the one and only Holly. There she is.
Cool.
Yeah, Reese, you good?
Yeah, I'm good. Are you?
Yeah, I'm champion enough. Look at it dapper there in a minute. Which is cool, you know. So yeah, I mean, it's just I got an early finish today, which is great. And you know, I could have done this a bit earlier, sort of thing, but obviously you got to go another show later on.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm on Newcastle Fans TV at 8 o'clock, so I think it'll be really, really good. I'm on with Brandon and
Lee?
I can't remember the other person's name, which is really bad. No, it's not Lee.
Adam, could it be Adam?
I think it's Adam.
Adam. I like Adam. I had him a couple weeks ago on my chat, a couple weeks ago, and the guy had a dressing gown on. Oh my god! But listen, he's a great guy. He's a great guy. You know, so he's talking about. I hope you enjoy the guys, you know, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I'm sure I will.
So, champion stuff. I've got Eric on air. Good evening to us both. And Eric's always on me chat, and he's got the lovely Stephanie on there as well, which is canny. So yeah. So there you go. All right. So I'm gonna go crack on to the press conference today. Steve Bruce has been saying questions like asking about Graham Jones, been asking about players in and out and how it's going to go. And, you know, his attitude of dear, it's just absolutely wrong again. And he just says the same things all the time. Joe, I hope you're right, mate. Good evening to you. And Stephanie, good evening to you as well, Pet. I hope you're okay. So, yeah, so I'm just going to go in straight to it, like, because I know time is short for you, that dear. So if I just go into the chat settings. I know it's a bit of a pain because I'm trying to get used to this as well, man. So yeah, so it's just I've set quite a few people as well. So I'll just get that a second. There you go. And this is what Steve has been saying today regarding tomorrow's games in Southampton. Excuse me. And he was asked about which players available, who won't make it. And he said today that Jamal Lewis, Federico Fernandez won't make it. Kieran Clark's partner has gone to labour today. I wish him both all the best on the newborn Ben. But we're hoping he still make it. Paul Dubbett's still struggling, so we're a bit depleted defensively. What do you make of that, Holly?
Well, yeah, again, there's lots of defenders injured. It's not the first time. I know we had problems with that last season as well, and some of them's our best defenders. Some of them, like, it doesn't matter, like obviously Dummett and stuff like that, I'm not really bothered about. But especially Lewis, because now we don't actually have a recognised left back to fill in, so we're going to have to play Matt Ritchie.
Left back. The thing is, so they're talking about getting Emil Kraft at left back, or what they probably do is probably get Mancuso right back and Kraft at left back. I'm sorry, but I wouldn't have him in my team at this moment in time. I'd rather play Ritchie there, if you know what I mean. And the fact of the matter is, it's just depleted. And they said about getting a centre back. This lad from Germany and Oblak, I think, not Oblak, someone on those names saying that we got him. And then Liverpool came in for, I don't believe that for a second at all whatsoever. So, yeah.
Yeah, I know that Bruce did mention something about Ritchie, so I'm not sure, obviously, if he is planning on playing him or not. But again, like, it's another problem with obviously Lascelles being out and he's our captain. I know he missed the last game, so it's not as big of a problem. And then obviously Fernandez is one of our main players, and Clark, he had a great game last time, so he'll be a miss as well.
Yeah. Fair enough. I mean, that's if you see what I mean, it's just all those things. I think Kieran Clark had a good game the other day, but thing is, though, your family comes first for me. If he has to go and see his partners for a labour, so obviously he should do that, because at the end of the day, if he doesn't go there, not it against us, Kieran, your family comes first, which I agree there, sort of thing. So we got Paul, big up to me guy in the building, here. And he said the comments Bruce made about Acton Xavier were disgusting. Yeah, I've got to come on to that later on, definitely. And Paul said, Holly, you have to come to his channel soon.
Yeah, I'll be happy to come on the channel, so I'll have to sort that out.
That's on a Thursday night, and he's got guests on as well, and and I'll go on there as well. So I will go on there as well soon if he wants us there. But otherwise, I got on a Monday night show with him, and things like Kenny Laugh is a great lad, and I like to do more content, you know what I mean? But his content's absolutely fantastic. When we get beat, be warned, he's not a happy bunny. Go on his channel, man. But listen, Paul's a great guy. I love the guy. So he's me bro. And I've got Eric as well saying if Dobbitt's still injured, then why the hell was he in the squad for the Palace game? Bruce is a fool. I agree with him. Man.
Yeah. I don't but he's done that before, like put players in that aren't fully fit, because I suppose we are struggling for options, to be fair. And he always says that I've got plenty of competition for places in the squad, but I just can't agree with him.
I don't, because he thinks he tells us everything that we want to hear. And the fact is, also, we don't believe him at all, because the football club, Ashley tells lies, Johnny tells lies, and this Floyd tells lies as well.
Mm-hmm. The whole lot of them do.
You're absolutely right, Holly, because at the end of the day, we pay for the season tickets, sort of thing, to expect better. And unfortunately, the service we get from the club is absolutely disgusting. That really is, to know what I mean? And you pay a lot of money for our season tickets. And I wouldn't put that. On to the next one. Steve Bruce is on about Joe Willock, and he said he'll be involved tomorrow. He's a little bit different to what we've got. He wants to get forward and score goals. That's in his locker. He's got the ability to get up and do the pitch. He's young, enthusiastic, and ready to go. The words I said there, he'll be involved tomorrow. Is the guy going to start tomorrow? Because I don't think he will,
I don't think he will start, but I think he will definitely get a good run out, at least half an hour, I would say. But that's like what I was saying like the other day. I don't know whether I would start him or not, because I don't think we've got particularly good midfielders. I mean, for me, Hayden and Shelby's the best, but yeah. I know Bruce is saying there's lots of competition for midfield with the Longstaffs and stuff like that. I just can't agree. I don't think the Longstaffs will get a game at all. They're just not up to scratch, especially at the minute. So I would like to see him involved, but I can't see him starting. So maybe he'll come on at the start of the second half or something like that.
I totally agree there, Holly. I think he's going to play Hayden, Shelby, and Hendrick again. And unfortunately, Joe's going to have to bide the time and moment in time, because he will not come to Newcastle if he's not going to get games. For me, I think Bruce is going to do exactly the same thing like he did with Lazaro. He hardly played games. Danny Rose is completely and utter waste of space, overweight. And Bentaleb, I'm sorry, it's just simply ain't good enough for the team whatsoever.
Yeah, but then obviously I know that they said that he came here on the condition that he would get plenty of first team football. So maybe Bruce will be forced into playing him, because that might be in his contract that he's got to play so much.
I hope so, because he could make a difference to us. I mean, look, he's young, but his decision making needs to be picked up, because I get a lot of Arsenal fans saying he's a canny player, but his decision making needs to be up to scratch. So, and on to the next one. Steve Bruce has asked about Alain Saint-Maximin. And he said, the team picks itself against Crystal Palace because Everton was easily our best performance of the season. Alan is fit. We are pleased with him, and he's ready to start. So let's hope he can have the impact we all know he can have. For me personally, I'll get him starting now, because at the end of the day, he had a couple of substitute appearances. I think he's okay. And he has to start games now from the start, surely.
Yeah, I know the last game when he came on, I didn't think he looked fully fit, but obviously a few days can make all the difference. And then even before he got the injury, I don't think he was the same player that he was when he first joined us. So hopefully he starts getting back to the form that he was in the previous season, because lately he hasn't been as good.
I mean, first season I thought he was absolutely wonderful for us, but he kind of got a bit found out in the second season, and let's hope that he does the business, because this guy, I reckon, can make a huge difference to our season. If he gets the service, if he takes on the players and people helps him out, I think for me, I think he's going to make a difference for us. Let's hope so. And also, I like to see him and Thea sign the same team. And if he does that, and we get the end products going, we got a chance.
I know it'll be a brilliant attack with both of them. And obviously, he's like our only player on the team that can make a real difference and completely change a game. And he's really exciting in the squad. So it'll be great to see him, obviously, and hopefully he can come in and do a good job.
Let's hope so, and fingers crossed there, Holly. If not, then we've got a bit of a problem there. So let's fingers crossed, got every confidence in the squad. So I've got active Aaron, and hi to you. Hayden and Richie as Don Harry filling in. We have enough numbers in midfield to keep playing as a midfield three. Eric said, why should we play a young staff from Arsenal over born-bred Geordie like Matty? It's ridiculous. I also think Shelby is a waste of time. I thought, like I said the other day, I think he did all right first half, but he just drifted out of the game in the second half. He just didn't get a chance to show his skills there.
Yeah, from what Eric said, like I can understand what he's saying because I know other people have said the same point about obviously Sean and Matty and why shouldn't they get priority over him. But I mean, I'm not gonna like sit here and pretend I know loads about Willock and Arsenal because I don't. But I think from what I have heard and seen that he looks to be a better player than Matty or Sean. So hopefully he proves himself to the fans and why he should be picked ahead of them.
I totally agree. I mean, it's just push them out, it's just putting them most out of the joint, really, and push them out of the way. Obviously, Steve Bruce don't rate those two. I don't get anyone's there. I just don't think he rates those two. That's why it's taken a long time for Matty to come in. And for me, Sean Longstaff, I just don't think he's been good enough for us this season. Don't get us wrong, he's a good player, but I just don't think the standard is not what we not seeing at the moment in time. So I got Paul again. He has to play 4-2-3-1 tomorrow. Hendrick is as much as scratching your back with a hacksaw. I get that. I think he needs to be dropped somehow. I just think he's hopeless for me. Thomas says, John, any chance Joe Linton might start? No, man, definitely not. Listen, I'd rather have Bianca Westwood starting over Joe Linton, to be fair.
I know. I hope Joe Linton doesn't start because if he does start, there's something sadly wrong.
Totally agree. And it's like playing with 10 men. And for me, I just don't think it's good enough. And listen, I like to give players a chance, sort of thing. And I just don't think the Premiership is for him. Maybe Spanish football, perhaps, or maybe Germany when he made his name. So I've got Eric again. You do drop Max. You do drop for Maxi if he sticks to the 4-3-3. Paul is correct. He needs to play 4-2-3-1 with Maxi, Aaron, Fiesa behind Wilson. And I can understand what Eric's trying to say. If he plays 4-2-3-1, then that gives us a balance as well. I mean, you need to have 3 attackers behind the striker. That's what I think.
But I can see him changing formation back to really defensive against Southampton just because of the way they play. And I think they'll be panicking because he knows that if we don't get this result, we've got really hard games coming up. Obviously, Man United, Wolves and Chelsea, is it?
Yep, Chelsea first, then Man U, and then Wolves. And he's just panicking. I mean, Steve Bruce, I mean, he should be getting help from Graham Jones. Graham Jones told him to play 4-3-3. It worked an absolute treat. And with Steve Bruce, for me, he's just a dinosaur. And he's gonna get wrong if he plays 5-4-1. How many games have we won? We've been in 5-4-1. We haven't been winning much games, haven't we? 5-4-1.
Not many, no. Especially not this season. It worked a little bit last season, but not so much this year.
I know. This is why this guy has to be sacked. I don't got anyone say he needs to be sacked. It's as simple as that. Jay, got a question for you, Holly. Who is your favourite player at the moment?
Probably Fabian Shaw. He's been same since we signed him, but I also really like Martin Dubravka just because I think he's probably one of the best keepers in the league, and I don't think we'll get one as good as him for a long time.
Definitely not. He's 32 now, and he's still a class act. And you know, we need to keep the guy on for quite a long time because we need to get him back in over Carl Darlow. No disrespect for Carl, I think he's done wonders for us. But at the end of the day, I think Dubravka's being very patient, getting his team, getting the place in the team. And I just hope that he starts tomorrow. I really do. And I've got 2 of you here. John, you should have got Joe Linton, a new club by now, and live like a king from my commission. Oh, he's basically saying, right? I mean, a couple weeks ago, Paul asked us how much do you think he's worth now, and I slipped on the tongue and I said 15 million if he's lucky. If and then I got wrong for it, sort of things like getting slapped in the face, like, you know. And on the show, he keeps winding us up about Joe Linton saying that, have I sold him yet? Have I made a commission yet? But he just just love to they have a bit of fun. They on his agency, but it's just not true. And I think I'm not Joe Linton's agent.
Well, it's more generous than I would have said, because I wouldn't have said nowhere near 15 million.
No. I would just give him a zero anyway. Give him a big fat zero. But there you go. I've got Stephen Taylor. Good evening to you, Stephen. Not the Stephen Taylor that used to play for us, but enormous Stephen Taylor. He's a good guy. And Steve will work here. With suspensions, injuries, and illness to Southampton, there surely has to be a must win. It has to be a must win. But am I feeling confident in the game? Probably not. And Adam said, if Blues panics and goes back to a 5-4-1, that's the moment I know we are getting relegated. If we stick to what we have tried the last 2 games, we might be okay. And the team review, my guy Paul said, it's all good banner, bro. Hey, bro, you're definitely bro, Paul, man, you know. That's why I love coming on your show on a Monday night. But but going back to Aaron, you made a good point there. If Bruce Pads goes back to 5-4-1, at that moment we are going to get relegated. Is he right?
Well, like I said before, I think that if we do stay up, it'll literally be by goal difference or a point or something, and I think it'll be 4th off bottom. I can't see us finishing anywhere near mid-table, but I don't think we will actually get relegated just because of how poor the teams are, and we've still got that 8-point gap. But yeah, it would be a massive concern if we went back to 5 at the back, because that just formation doesn't suit us at all.
It doesn't, and the players will be absolutely peed off as well, sort of thing. So, and the fact is, they enjoy themselves playing 4-3-3, they must be thinking great, and then back to 5-4-1. And I tell you what, if he plays 5-4-1, I'll be doing it on tomorrow. And if Paul comes on great, he's going to come on after the match as well, and Samantha's going to come on as well, I hope. And it should be fantastic. So, and just going on to what Chris Waff has been saying as well. He's from the Athletic. Good guy, and he asked Bruce about Southampton, and he quoted, when you look at Southampton on the night, they had 2 men sent off and lots of injuries. They want to respond, and they have players fit again, and a red card overturned, and we probably have more injuries than we have now. I'm only interested in how we go about it, though. Is he making up his excuses? Is he getting excuses early in?
Yeah, Bruce, I mean, he loves an excuse, but it's that old-fashioned phrase of being a wounded animal, which I agree with, because I think they will be really up for it, and I don't think they'll beat us by a lot of goals or anything like that. I think probably it's a draw. If they do win, it'll be by a few amount of goals, but I think they'll be a lot more up for it than us, even though it should be the other way around, because we need the points, in my opinion, more than they do.
Absolutely right. We're at home as well, and we need to take it to them, and we need to hit them when it hurts. You know what I mean? I mean, just keep them down where it hurts. And this is our opportunity now to put the pressure on them, because they're going to come here getting absolutely mullered by 9 goals to 0 down the And United were fantastic, by the way. But you're right. We need to do something about it, and quick. And back on Stephen again, I think Darlow's played himself to move so he can get regular football next season. And I will bring back Woodman back as the broadcast on the start of next season. Do you honestly think Darlow's going to go on next season?
No, not for me.
I can't see it, to be honest with you. I mean, it's a good point, though, but I just can't see it happening in the last sort of thing. And I've got Thomas as well. I saw Julian walking around South Shields football grounds. It's his dream to play there. I don't know who the striker is, but I say just stay there. And Paul said, Holly, can you give Paul a follow on Twitter so you'll be in touch? He's already following you, by the way. Can you give you a follow back?
Yeah, well, I didn't see his follow. So is his Twitter the same as his YouTube, the Tomb Review?
Yes, it is. The Tomb Review. Type in the Tomb Review, it'll come up, and just click on follow, and then he'll send the details so you can get on the show on Thursday, I think, but you need to have a word of him. But 100% he'll get you on there as well, and he will treat you absolutely fantastic, like me.
Yeah, I'll follow him straight after this.
Thank you. That's fantastic. Paul, you heard actually, I'll follow you. And 2 more quick ones before I go on to the next one. good point, John. This is from Aaron. Good point, John. Imagine playing a few games in a system where they enjoy expressing themselves. Then they go back to being dominated and embarrassed all game. I think the players were just, you know what? If they're going to play 5-4-1, I just down tools. I just say, you know what? I just go down tools. I'm not even going to bother. That's a good point, Aaron. Then I've got Eric as well. Compare Fulham's next 4 games to ours. I see us being in the bottom 3 after these fixtures. West Ham, Everton, Burnley, and Sheffield United are all winnable. Well, for me, I think Fulham will probably win 7 games. Whether they overhaul us, I just don't know. It'll be very interesting. What do you think of that?
Well, it never makes a difference for me whether we're playing so-called big sides or small sides, because we are really, really weird, so to speak, because we normally do better against teams you wouldn't expect us to do well against, likes of Everton, and then we'll underperform against the teams in and around us. So honestly, for Newcastle, I don't think it makes a difference who we're playing. And to be honest, I can't see us getting a point against the worst team or the best team. So I'm not confident at all.
You know what it is, right? People ask us what the score was. I know people's got to be positive thing, but I say how we're going to win, but unfortunately, I just think we get a draw at the end of the day. But if Southampton scores first, I'll tell you something now, we're not come back. We have not come back from a goal down or 2-0 to win the game. Last season, I think it's 2 seasons again, under Rafa Benitez, we've done it. We was 2-0 doing against Everton and came back to 3-2. That's because Almiron and Perez turned the game on his heat. I can't see us doing it, man. I just cannot.
I know that Everton game was my favourite game in a long time in the 18-19 season under Rafa, and you could never in a million years imagine seeing anything like that under Bruce. It's like as soon as we concede a goal, that's just it. It's like the players lose all hope and motivation and just expect to get beat, and it shouldn't be like that at all. They need to change their mentality, because it's not right at all, and that's horrendous on Bruce's part that he's allowing them to just be defeated so easily. He needs to tell them, keep fighting, because you can easily come back from 1 goal, and the more they score, the less likely we are. But if they score 1 and we score 1 and it keeps going, we need to get that fight into the team.
Holly, well said. Well said. Seriously, I can't even add anything to that as well, because the fact of the matter is what you just said is absolutely right. And not only that, the players don't even call it to play. So come on, Holly, man, we're goal down. We're going to come back for this sort of thing. Just keep your head soft things. None of that. I look at the pitch, right? And not one of them got to the players said, look, son, we won't make mistakes, son. We're going to get back to this. There's none of them. To me, they're just individuals to me. Do you know what I mean? And that's down to Bruce as well. He's got a shout as well, but no, he puts his hands in his pockets and does not.
Yeah, that's the thing. And that's a complete difference in classes of managers. Like the comparison of Rafa Benitez, who's one of the elite managers, compared to Steve Bruce, who's like just a underperforming manager. Benitez always had the team fired up and fighting for every tackle, every challenge. And I mean, that Leicester game, when every single player on the pitch was involved in that goal, things like that you could never imagine in a million years seeing under Bruce. And that's where, in my opinion, he's going wrong as a manager.
You're absolutely right there. Absolutely right. I'll tell you what, get this last on Sky Sports in a couple of years' time. Do you know what I mean? I can't say anything better than that, man. So listen, guys, can you please, if you put smash the likes on my channel, and please could you subscribe to us as well and leave the comments and sections down below. And if you can do that, it'd be absolutely amazing. And also, please follow Holly at Holly. I'll let you say
805.
Thank you very much indeed. So we're just going to go on to the next one as well. And Steve just asked a question according to, I don't know if I got the right one here, but I just double check that. This one here is from Club, right? And he was asked a question about Graham Jones, and basically, if I just got there, he was asked about Graham Jones, and he said he wanted to have a look at the first 10-15 minutes of her height. Then he was in the dugout behind us, like he was at Everton. I don't know what order for us to submit, said Bruce. Very, very touchy. He added, I got asked about that being in the stands over there, and it was a bit of a surprise. And also, he was asked if he felt Jones was a threat to his. Bruce said, no, I've had this conversation for I was talking about weeks ago about bringing in someone to help us. Graham must be first choice. I reiterate, my first choice. So, for this conspiracy theories, I wish I could put them to bed. Holly, that is very, very touchy from Steve Bruce, and he was being so defiant. I mean, it's this guy lost it.
Yeah, and I think that's just a load of rubbish, what he said, to be honest, about wanting to watch the game for 15 minutes and stuff like that. Like, that's just rubbish, that is. I know for a fact Graham Jones would want to be there at pitch side, like, doing his job and, like, talking to the players and coaching, not sitting in the stands. Like, why would he want to do that?
Totally agree, because he's just acting like a wee lad, sort of, about Bruce. I mean, Bruce, for me, told himself, I want to prove a point here, sort of thing. You know, he's got, I mean, Bruce's ego is an absolute joke, and his attitude is strong. And I hope the players pick it up as well. We all know the fans know about this straight away. But my God, for me, I think Bruce needs to wise up and sharpen up, because at the end of the day, he's lying to the fans again. We know what's going on, sort of thing. He can say what he wants, but the press do not challenge him at all. They're not allowed to challenge him. And I think it's about time they challenge him again, like they did at Brentford, and like they did against just after the Villa game.
Well, see, Steve Bruce says again, stop that, because now the press will be scared, because they know if they upset Bruce, he'll stop them coming to the conferences again, because obviously he stopped the local media and that coming.
Exactly. And this is the thing. If he does that, Holly, if he does that, and I think everyone else in the chat will probably agree with us, if you turn on the press, they'll turn on news. And then they turn on news, you are on your own. And if you're on your own and you don't win games, then lives will be out very, very quickly. And if you did that like in Italy, or if you done that to a London club, they're just going to eat you up and sorting you out as well. And Steve Bruce will have nowhere to go.
He'd do a brilliant job in a circus, because, like, that's what he is. He's just a clown. I mean, a football manager.
Yeah, Holly, say it again. Say it again to the viewer. Say it again. Go on.
He'd do a good job in a circus, because he's a clown.
Wow.
It's true.
Brilliant. I'm going to post that on the tweet as well, man. You know what I mean? Listen. You're right.
That should be his retirement job, go into the circus. I'm sure he'd do brilliant.
Oh, he'd be absolutely amazing. But I don't think he'd be doing it on the somersaults as well, man, because he's a bit too fat to do his ass. You know what I mean?
Just in charge of it, running things, you know.
I think he'd be
Honestly,
better off.
I'm not even sure if he could run a circus. He's that incompetent.
Like, he could run, because he can't run. I don't think he can run a circus because he's too fat to run. You know?
Yeah. And honestly, I think he literally dresses up as a football manager and it's some type of costume, because I don't know who he's fooling, but it's like some shit disguise, because he's certainly not a football manager. I don't know how he's got away with it so long.
He's not any. He's more like a roly poly first, man. You know what I mean? Eating too much beer. You know what I mean?
I totally agree, man.
You can turn into a whopper as well. You know what I mean? I tell you what. Listen, it's just, you know what it's like. He's just an absolute clown. You know what I mean? But he's just a liar sort of thing. Just like Milan. That's just blah blah blah. I've got Eric in here. No lead on the side and no lead on the pitch. Both managers and captaincy need to be changed.
Yeah, I mean he's been needing to be changed. To be honest, he shouldn't have even come in the first place. So.
Exactly. You shouldn't. I'd never want them in the club. I never want them at all. I mean, I'd rather take. The thing is, I think I said before, maybe to you or someone else, but they wanted Steven Gerrard and they wanted Mikel Arteta as well and Patrick Vieira. None of them come because they spoke to Rafa Benitez and they just said, "It's a great club. I can't see any top players coming to Newcastle. I can't see top managers coming to Newcastle. The stage is there. It's got everything scared up to be a canny club that goes to Europe, but unfortunately, Holly, it's not going to happen anytime soon."
Yeah, of course it is. It's got so much potential that's just waiting to be unlocked. But until Ashley does leave, there's nothing that can be done because nobody's going to want to work for him.
Exactly, totally agree. They want insurances first. They could ask for insurances first, and until then, they're not going to touch that club as long as he's there. I tell you what, I think Matt Ashley might as well run the club itself, and then they'll find out the hard way. So I've got Thomas on the chat. Hope you okay, Thomas? I don't understand how Severe, Axel, Joe Clinton's still here. I'll have to agree with you there. And Alan said, Boosters books walking lie. Can see why Ashley loves him. I'll tell you what, I'm surprised they don't sleep together. Let's be real. You know what I mean? And then I've got Thomas here. 1 billion agree with Holly. By the way, John, did you put the Brussels and Sprouts up on your Twitter? I'm going to. I'm going to. And then I got Aaron as well. Can you imagine Bruce Wall up in the circus in a tight black suit and a big top hat and a big cane?
He'd fit in perfectly.
Yay, baby. Yay. No, I tell you what, though, they're probably a totally fit anyway, because like I said before, so he's mostly about 20 stone, but listen, he's just an absolute muppet, to be honest with you. So I want to touch on that as well. And when Bruce was asked a question, who's going to make the 25 out of Sevilla and Atsu? And he basically said, Atsu is it's an all-brainer sort of thing. It's just the way he replied to the press. For me, and I think Paul Pittman as well, he's basically it's just a tone of his voice. I don't like the way he said it as well. Okay, they're not good enough. Atsu and Savet are not good enough. Definitely not. But it's just the way he's just rattled the press. What do you think of that one, Holly?
Well, I'm not a fan of Savet by any stretch of the imagination. Obviously, he's not good enough. But I thought it was really, really disrespectful to him that he was like, oh, yeah, well, it's a no-brainer to pick like Atsu over Savet kind of thing because, like, I mean, yeah, I would pick Atsu over Savet, but there's no need to disrespect him like that. Like, could you imagine being Savet and going into training in the morning after your manager saying that on a live press conference? You'd be mortified. Like, that's just not on at all. You should just keep things like that behind closed doors and show him some respect in the media.
Well said. Totally agree. That's the way to do it. And then I think Steve should apologise to him right away because Savet, I think he speaks good English as well. And I'm pretty sure he will not be a happy bunny. If I was Savet, I was just saying, you know what? You can stuff the rest of the contract. I'm out of here. Do you know what I mean? And I hope future players want to come and play for Steve Bruce if he's here next season. I hope he's not. They're going to be thinking twice about coming to Newcastle because I can't see anyone going to play for this guy. I'm telling you, because the guy is absolutely finished. I've got Stephen here, more like a court jester. Thomas said more like a clown that fell off the stage. Love it.
About right.
And I got Jay as well. What did Bruce mean by the team picks itself? Yeah, I'm going to come on to that as regard about Christian Atsu. He's basically saying that the team picks itself because he thought that the team played okay. But what he's going to do, he's not going to pick Willock. We both will not be picked until the second half. And basically as well, he's still going to pick Hendrick as well, which I don't think is good enough. But there's the defensive side. They've got a real conundrum here because Lascelles not going to play, Klopp not going to be fit, and you got Dummett ain't fit as well. So it's going to be tough for Newcastle in the defence.
It is. And obviously he says the team picks itself, but I'm not sure it does because, like, we didn't have a bad performance. But for example, if St. Maximin was fit, I'd definitely be bringing him into the side. I wouldn't just play the other players because we had like more possession. And he was going on about us having more possession in that game, like 60% or whatever. Like, oh, when have you ever known that? Like, that's just embarrassing. That should be like the norm, especially like against the poorer sides. And yeah. I don't get like what he's even going on about with that. Like, it's just, you shouldn't be. He's basically admitting that a half decent performance against Crystal Palace and still not winning is an achievement. Like, no, that's not an achievement whatsoever.
I know 60% with no shots on targets, really, especially in the second half. It's what you do with it. It's lately sideways and backwards as well. Hendrick is one of them as well. And when we get the corner, when you get the corner or take a throw in, I don't know if you watch it against Chelsea and I think it's Sheffield United, we play deep into the half. The throw's been taken in and it plays all the way back to the goalkeeper, 70 yards back to the keeper, which I think is disgusting.
I know, I've seen that. They do it all the time, though. It's like they start attacking and then they think they're going to lose the ball and they get scared, so they just pass it all the way at the other end of the pitch. They may as well just have a go, because if they do lose the ball, at least they can say that they tried to do something instead of just panicking and putting it back to Darlow, because he's not going to score, is he?
Definitely not. He won't, unless he hits a 100-yard pass in the back of the net. But like you said, it's not going to happen, man.
Well, he's got just as much chance as Joe Linton, to be fair.
Exactly, I totally agree. And I think it's crazy, man. I think the way we play out in a minute. I mean, if he does play 5 at the back tomorrow, I'll be doing the live watch along tomorrow. and I hope you join in as well with Paul as well. Paul's going to come on as well. I'll make sure he comes on as well. And yeah, you're right. It's just he talks sense and he knows what he's talking about. And yeah, he may not be cheek, but Arsenal fan, but listen, he's a good lad himself. So I've got active Aaron again. Aaron here. What he said is true, but he don't say that in public. He will have friends in the changing rooms. If the players haven't turned on him already, that will not help.
Yeah, I agree. And you should never, as a manager, be disrespecting your players. Like, that's just the wrong way to go about things.
Totally agree. It's just an absolute joke. And you know what it is? He's not losing. He's lost the players anyway. He's lost the dressing room anyway. What I don't understand is why Ashley's doing anything about it. Why? A commentator, why is he not doing nothing about it? Where, and like I said before, where's Charlie? Where's he to it? And it's Lascelles having a word of him, just say, look, I want this guy out because he has lost the dressing room. Well, I'm not playing for him. And they're not footballing people, Holly. They just don't seem to care.
Well, that's the same with everybody we've ever had on the board. I mean, like, we had like Dennis Wise and that on before. He was a joke. We've got Lee Charney on. These people are just like Ashley's mates. They're not actually anything to do with football or helping Newcastle. It's just people that Ashley likes, so he gives them a job. It could be any random bloke from down the pub that has nothing to do with it. Like, what? I mean, it's just crazy.
I just don't understand it at all because they're just mates and they know enough about football. And then you got Justin Barnes and Keith Bishop watches the games where Ashley's not there. And then what they'll do, they just report back to Ashley, say how to get on. Where we played Leeds, where we or been winning games, they said, oh, second half was absolutely brilliant sort of thing. But we only won one game with 13 games?
Yeah.
And that's enough to get any manager to sack. And again, something in right there because I feel I'm not going to ask if we lose tomorrow, then unfortunately Steve Bruce will not get the sack. He will never get sacked. I just don't think I'm just going to come to the conclusion now that he will not get sacked. Actually, will not sack him until we're in the bottom three.
That's what I've said since we employed him, because I know people call him for him to be out last season when we got beat like 5-0 off Leicester away, and I said that then. And people keep saying, oh, could this be his last game? But no, it's not going to be his last game until we're literally dead and buried, and then it'll be too late. So what's the point in sacking him anyway? It's not like we're going to stay up.
Exactly. And, I just don't get Ashley's demeanour. I just don't get it at all. But one thing I will say is if we get relegated this time, Holly, and I think the guys will agree with me, chat, we'll not get back up ever again. I just don't think we'll get up again. I hope we don't because not when Ashley's there. Because to me, I don't want to say this, but we don't deserve Premier League football, and actually, we just don't.
We don't deserve it, but I mean, I'd never want us to rot in the Championship because, well, I mean, why would you want that for your own club, obviously? But it's, I don't think we would go back up straight away if we did go down. I know the Saudis and that said they'd still be willing to take over if we did, but I can't see them paying the full 350 million that Ashley wants. So then would he accept the deal or would he just decide to keep the club,
Well, the thing is, though, he wants out of the club, and if he wants out of the club and he's that desperate, take the money and just go. Just give our fans hope. We need the fans to give us hope, and that's what we need. We had 14 years of this. It's like a prison sentence, you know what I mean? It's like being in jail, rotten all the time. It seems like that, Holly.
Yeah, it is. There's obviously, that's all. I've only seen the Ashley era and stuff, and there's bits that are good, but most of it's just drab. It's nothing to look forward to week in, week out. You just no fan should ever go into a game expecting to get beat every week, and that's what we've been doing for years.
Exactly. We can go to the stadium, just go and enjoy ourselves, and just have the passion for the club and give it. All we want is just good football, having a goal, being entertained. If we lose the game, but get entertained, I'll take it. But like you said, you shouldn't go to a game expecting to get beat because that's a negative attitude mindset. You know what I mean? And because I can remember years ago, our fans was really up for it. Today, people are not bothered.
Yeah, that's the sad thing is people are starting to care less and less when we go on these runs of bad form because they're just expecting it. And it's like when we do start to get on a good run, people just think, oh, well, when's it going to end? It's constantly looking for the negatives. And that's not the fans' fault. That's because Ashley's just completely drained the life out of everyone across the whole 14 years.
Totally agree there. You're absolutely right. And we just want the good times to come back. You're right. I got Eric again. Henry Surveyor would do more for the team than Atsu. Surveyor is actually a very decent footballer. I can't understand why we signed him just to excel him. That was the Steve McLaren signing. And since Rafa took over, he hardly been in the team. He only played once, I think, in the Premier League.
I don't rate Xavier personally, but each to their own, I guess.
When it watched him against West Ham when he scored that goal and he did an assist, everyone's bigging him up and saying that, hey, give him a chance, you know, he's gonna come good. But since that game, he hardly played and he went on loan to Turkey. And he's another one he could have just said, like, you know what? I want to play football, but not. He's on 40, 50 grand a week. And he just said, you know what? I'm chilling. I'm absolutely chilling. But at least Lazar has left the club, and I hope he finds a decent club somewhere. But I heard that Milan wants him as well.
That's crazy. I mean, if that's true, I don't know what to say about that, because, like, why on earth would you want Ashraf Lazar? Like, come on.
I mean, you know, I love Serie A football sort of thing. And listen, I'm gonna probably watch it later on when Fiorentina play Inter Milan. That should be a cracking game. But you're right. I mean, if he goes to Milan, and I doubt he will, if he does, is he going to take over Theo Hernandez's place? You got to be joking, haven't you? Theo Hernandez is one of the best fullbacks in Serie A, if not in Europe.
Yeah, I think that's just a rumour. I hope it is, because I think someone's lost the plot if they do decide to sign Lazar.
Agent talk, maybe? To make a bit of coin?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. I tell you what, you should be an agent as well. Now I'll feature with for Sky Sports in future years, and I believe in you. And I got Thomas there again. The only time I saw there was his school versus West Ham United. And just said, let's be honest, John, no manager has signed any players that lasted 13 years under Ashley or done with Nixon, Carr, etc. This is the thing. Steve Nixon, for me, he's the one who recommended Ashley to sign Joe Linton for £40 million, right? And I said at the time, he should be charged for fraud and deception for getting this guy in. You know what I mean?
He should. I don't know what he was watching when he decided to sign him. Like, that's got to go down in history as the worst ever football signing, like the waste of money. Some of them, like, you think the likes of Kraft, like, yeah, he was a shit signing, but we only paid like what, 5 million or something for him. It's a big difference between that and 40 for Joe Linton.
I mean, I said at the time that because I watched Kraft at the time, well, Emma is crap, I'll say. Sorry, he's not crap, Emma's crap. And I watched him for Bologna, and everyone's bigging him up and say, he's a Swedish Cafu. He's a Swedish. He's going to bomb forward this and bomb forward that. You know what? No one of them watched him. I watched him, right? I know Serie A well and a lot of yous, right? And he is not the Swedish Cafu. He's just a bang average player. And I know for a fact. And I said, that's why he went to Amiens for a reason, because he was that poor. And Bologna fans celebrated when he went because they even think it was crap as well.
Yeah, all right.
You know what I mean? And there's a guy who's Japanese international. He plays Bologna, plays a right back. I'm not going to mention his name, but he's levels above Kraft, levels, man. And, you know, but that's for another idea. And I got Eric again. Did either of you see Lazar for Palermo? It was actually really good compared to the version we got. And listen, I watched glimpse of him when he played for Palermo. I thought he was decent. You know what I mean? And then when Rafa immediately saw him and paid, how much it cost? £3 million? It cost £3 million then. And I thought, wow, that's a bargain, like, you know. And he was watched by Fiorentina, wanted him. Juve wanted him. Sampdoria wanted him as well. And Newcastle came for him. And he opted to come to us. And when he came to us, he hardly played.
That's the story of a lot of players, though. Like, time and time again, we sign these people that never get a game, and you just think, why? It was like, can you remember, like, a few years ago, we signed that Beretta in the middle of the season, and I think he got, like, 3 minutes of football or something.
Yeah, he used to play for Genoa as well. Listen, I mean, Beretta, he used to play for Genoa. He was very decent. I mean, he was a very good player. But when he went to Monaco, he hardly played. And then when he came to us, I think that was forced on Rafa. I didn't think Rafa wanted him, if I'm honest with you, Easton. I mean, that's why he didn't play. If Rafa wanted him, he would have got more minutes on the pitch. But listen, he's back at Genoa now, I think he is. And he just did not fit in the tar. He didn't.
I know we do it all the time. Get these players that never get game time, and not only is it not fair on the club and the fans, like getting these players wasting our money and not playing them, but it's also unfair on the players because they're coming here thinking they'll get some game time and more experience just to sit on the bench, and that's not what they want either.
Now they don't, and they get like a 5-6 year contract as well, and they hardly play, and that's why they go on season on loan to a lesser club. Take Joe Linton for example; he's on £6 million, not 6 million pounds. He's on a 6-year deal, and he's hardly played. And now we lombarded him, paying £90,000 a week, and he's going to be laughing. He's going to be thinking, you know what? I don't want to play football that much. I'm not going to get 90 grand anywhere else. That's it. I got Thomas say AC Milan wants us and he's just laughing. But I can't say that happened. But yeah, we're signing players on long contracts, and they're just happy sitting on the bench.
I know. It's like I said this in the last video, Ashley's meant to be this great businessman and great with money and stuff, but the amount of players he signs just to pay them for no work, like, he can't be that good, because I mean, like, who in the right mind would just pay people to literally come to training a couple of times a week and do nothing else?
Exactly. That's down to the transfer policy. It's down to Nixon. He should be sacked as well. And you're absolutely right. And just, it's so strange, isn't it? Sort of thing. We're just like a bank. Do you know what I mean? Just come in, we pay this and that and all that sort of thing, you know. And you got a fan here called Eric, and he said, Holly's right there. There's been loads of players in the last 14 years that came for decent money, and they get kept behind the scenes and forgot about. And there's too many for them to mention. And I got John here. Hi, both. Who plays at the back against Southampton? Still surprised the journalist loan out. Well, I would have given him a 1-year extension to his contract before he went off to Alaves as well. And I think Newcastle got it absolutely wrong. I hope next season, when Lejeune comes back, give him a year's deal. I still think he's a decent player.
Lejeune, well, I think obviously he's really injury prone, but on his day, I think he's our best centre back. Like, in my opinion, I never ever would have loaned him out, and especially times like this when we're having loads of injuries in defence. Why on earth would we not recall him?
Exactly. I mean, I don't know what happened to that deal there, sort of, and whoever done set that up, sort of thing. He's absolutely shooting, if I'm honest with you, you know what I mean? But he had a mare against Leicester last season when he did 2 poor passes. I gave him a 0 out of 10. But listen, he's still fantastic, but he wasn't fit at the time. So, yeah. And he scored 2 goals twice against Everton as well, which he saved the bacon. So, yeah, you're right. And I just hope he comes back, and you know, because I think Federico Fernandez may be going at the end of the season. I reckon he's out of contract. Fabian Schär will be out as well. So we need a big building job as well. Rebuilding job at the club, you know.
I know that's another hard thing, is because obviously we think the takeover is going to go through at the end of the season, but it could be like right before the season starts. So then do you offer these players new contracts, or do you wait out because the new owners might want a new manager that'll want different players? So it's really hard to see. We're just constantly in limbo because of all the uncertainty.
It is. I've got to take over place out of constantly. You're right. I mean, what a mess we are at the minute. We're on a mess, and we've got a relegation dogfight on top of it as well. And it's just it's just farcical, isn't it, Holly? It's just so farcical, man. But I've got 2 more quick ones here. The first one is, I read that one, and Jay's asked a good question. What do I think of Orr McCauley of Sampdoria? I think he's better than a lot of all of our defenders put together. In my opinion, he's the baby Koulibaly. Koulibaly plays in Napoli, and for me, he's the baby Kalidou Koulibaly. He's 6'2". He's solid, defends well, reads the game like a book, and he's powerful as well. I'd take him all day long, but he will not come to Newcastle because he loves Italy life, and I don't blame him at all. And Lejeune is our best on the back about country mile. I totally agree there, because he brings ball out from the back. Obviously, Steve Bruce do not rate him. So, like I'm going to wrap up. You got to go on the show in a minute, haven't you?
Yeah, in 10 minutes' time.
Oh, bless you. I mean, I'm going to catch on for another hour, you know, because you can talk sense, you know.
I know. I'll definitely come on tomorrow.
Definitely, because what I'm going to do tomorrow after the game with we'll watch along, I'm going to get Sam on first, right? And then I'll get you on as well. So what you do, I'm going to get Sam's player ratings, get your players, talk about the game, right? If that's okay. And I'm still going to make you a regular, Holly, because you're absolutely amazing. And what I'm going to do as well for you, I've got these 2 Arsenal podcasts as well. absolutely amazing over and over again. Paul, I'm going to recommend to you as well for a chat. And also, I'm going to talk to my guy, Albert. He's an Arsenal fan as well, and get him to come on get you guys chat as well for 10 minutes on talking about Newcastle.
Yeah, that'll be great. What time are you on tomorrow? Just so I know.
I'm going to be on watch along at 2:15. I'll do me talk about the game. I'm going to put on display the team lineups on the screen as well and chat about what's going on, like the pre-match interview, if I can get out there, and then sign off at 5 o'clock after the game. And then what I'll do, I'll grab you on about 6, 7 o'clock for a chat. And yeah, so I'll fish all afternoon, basically.
All right, okay, then I'll keep an eye out and just give us a message.
I will do, babe, no problem at all. And I got Eric there, get Sam and Holly at the same Sam and Holly at the same time. I could do.
It's up to you. Yeah.
I could do. Wow, that'd be amazing. If I can get Sam on the chat, I think my views is going to shoot through the roof because she's from NFC Matters and she's really popular and she knows football. So you can ask her any questions you want as well. And, yeah, she'd be amazing. So I'm going to send Sam a message later on, DM, and working out.
Is that Sam from Ladies' Night?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going on Ladies' Night on Monday as well, so I'll get to talk to her then, hopefully.
Oh, well done. I'm so proud of you. Well done. Because you know what? You deserve it, baby. You deserve it because I taught you, I'll get you the best on there now. And, I feel I laid the foundations and then whoosh.
Yeah, I know. I really appreciate you having us on.
No problem. Yes, you're welcome to come at any time and definitely do it tomorrow. And, and yeah, that'd be fantastic. And I've got to ask you this question. Did you enjoy it tonight?
Yeah, it's been another great show, and I'm sure tomorrow will be as well. So I'll speak to you tomorrow.
Without a doubt. Well, thank you very much for coming on, Holly, and send us a tweet, a message, so thanks as well. And it's been fantastic, and have a good time, and good luck for any Newcastle Fans TV.
Thank you. Speak to you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Have a good one. See you later. Ta-ra. That's Holly, and wow, she's absolutely amazing, isn't she? So yeah, if you get her followed on Holly Blades 05, and also follow me on John as well, NUFC 42, just scrolling on down here. And if you like me videos, please like and subscribe to us, right? And that'd be amazing. I think Eric made a brilliant point as well. Get Sam and Holly at the same time. So I'm going to speak to Sam later and get on my show and get things started, dude. And I'm so pleased for Holly going on NUFC Matters on Monday because she absolutely deserves it. And she's only 16. So, guys, I'm going to be back on tomorrow, right, on my watch along around 2:15. So please join us for that. Please like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment down below. And thanks so much for coming on. And I should do me Twitter messages now. I guess I've got so many to go through. And thanks so much for joining us. And until then, I'm out of here. Away, lads.